Hello everybody, my name is DEDMan and welcome to another episode of Expectations of an Avid Gamer. And today I'm going to be talking about Bayonetta 3. So as I said in my last video, I want to try to do this 3-video format where I have the expectations out first on like the day of launch or like the day after or something like that, or maybe even the day before. The reality video, which is after I played the game for a little bit, and the finale, which would be after I have beaten the game or subsequent DLC, because my next one after this will be over the Winter's expansion of Resident Evil 8. So, on that note, I'm going to go ahead. Also, the way I have these is I jot down my thoughts as I'm playing the game, so some of them might seem a little out of order from like where they would be at in the game, but you know, it's just how I'm doing this, and we're just testing something out. To get into it, the reality of Bayonetta 3 is, so far, I flippin' love it. It is awesome. It is a very fun game. As a longtime fan, I do have a few gripes, which are sprinkled in here with the like main review section. Or I'm sorry, with the positives. So I'll start off with the first thing. The main menu is kind of bare bones. It's just Bayonetta 3 across the screen with like almost like a model viewer of her demons. From what I can tell up to this point, it is just the ones that you've unlocked. So like the last time I looked at it, I had Gamora and Madama Butterfly unlocked, but then I have since then unlocked a new demon. And I haven't seen it on the main menu, but I haven't actually looked at the main menu. So it probably will show up there, because there was a point when just Gamora was showing up on there, because that was the absolute first summon that you were going to have, and then you unlock Madama Butterfly like right after that. There's, from what I can tell, there is no still scenes outside of the Chaos Gears that you are collecting. And it's not that big of a deal, but it was kind of one of those things that leaned into the style of it, is that they could have these little still scenes and focus more on the gameplay rather than having all of these beautiful, gorgeous cutscenes, which, it's not a huge negative. It's just one of those things that, like, it was established in the first two as a thing, and, it was originally there because of budgetary limitations, so maybe this time around they just had a way bigger budget than the previous two, and they said, fuck it, we'll just animate all the cutscenes. I don't really know how that particular aspect went. It's just a tiny bit disappointing, because it was like a theme of the game, not a theme, just it was a mainstay of it, just something that was in the last two. Something that's like, you see that and you think, oh yeah, that's Bayonetta. They've got these, stylish still scenes. The next thing is the weapons are no longer equipped on your hands and feet, but you just equip one weapon now. The way that the game is set up, I understand why they did it. I don't dislike it, but I don't really like it either, because that was part of the fun of the previous two, was having these stupid combinations. Like, one of my favorites for Bayonetta 1 was having the sword, because I'm a huge weeb, so of course I'm going to use the sword. And then the ice skates are the rocket launcher equipped to my feet, because it was just dumb fun. Or in Bayonetta 2, I really liked my chainsaws on the feet with my shotgun scythe in my hands. Or the other one was the, like, bug bow in my hands and the Aurune whips on my feet. It was dumb fun. And the way that this game plays, because they did update the combat significantly, and, it's supposed to represent Bayonetta being more powerful, it makes sense in context of the game, but it's still just one of those kind of, like, long-time mainstay things that's, like, I kind of wished we could have seen. So, like, right now, I have... I'm not going to spoil, basically, from what the third demon and weapon is beyond, which that's all I have right now, but I'm still not going to spoil it because it's a few hours into the game. But you start off with your new guns, and I'm not remembering what the name of them is off the top of my head. And then you eventually get, like, a hammer thing from Rodin, that basically is supposed to be like the hammer that is associated with Gamora. So, like, you're getting weapons and demons that are associated with each other, and they kind of work in tandem with each other. And part of that is like, I kind of wish the weapons and the demons were tied together, because you swap each of them separately. But that also makes sense, because you might want to be using your pistols and using the like Madama Butterfly moveset, which, by the way, there's skill trees in here now, so that's actually kind of interesting. So you've got your like Madama Butterfly set, but maybe you want to use Gamora because you need like a really hard-hitting whatever, or you just want to use Gamora. That makes sense. To me, it's a lot to juggle, but it's still manageable. The cutscenes, though, they are beautiful, and the animation is great. It's just they do look amazing. So even though I am a little tiny bit disappointed they don't have these still scenes, they've at least made up for it with the cutscenes just looking gorgeous and everything just being animated beautifully. The new enemies, they're really cool looking too. They are the homunculus, so they're all like liquidy and green. They're like part human, part machine kind of thing. So basically, Bayonetta's got invaded by the Reapers. And it's cool whenever they are like being summoned in, or the bigger ones, is it actually looks like there's humans like trying to reach out of the little goo and form these giant homunculus. So those are really cool. And the humor is still great. There has been more than once in the I am currently on chapter 4. I have not started it yet, but that is what I've finished up to chapter 4. And there has been multiple times when I have audibly laughed hard. Not a exhale from your nose, just, a little ha kind of funny. Like, I have legitimately laughed hard at some of the humor in here already. Jennifer Hale is great as Bayonetta. There's still what feels like a little bit missing to me from the performance, but I think that's just the last decade or so of knowing Helena Taylor as Bayonetta, and I do think Jennifer Hale does a great performance of it. She definitely brings something new to Bayonetta. I can't quite put my finger on it. Maybe like a more matured Bayonetta, because this version of Bayonetta is supposed to be the most powerful to this date. We saw her get a little bit stronger in Bayonetta 2 from what she was before. We never really saw her summon Madama Butterfly, and she did that a little bit more frequent, and we never saw her do that in 1, and we saw her do that more frequently in 2, and then now it's to a point where your actual summonable demons can be Madama Butterfly on a very, very consistent basis. So the headcanon I'm going with is not thinking about the situation around it, because it does make me sad, but my headcanon for that is that Jennifer Hale is just like the more mature Bayonetta, the more powerful Bayonetta. Because, that's how these games are progressing, is she's just more powerful than she's been. And I love the idea of the multiverse. As I said, I'm just starting chapter 4, and so by that point, I have seen another version of Bayonetta, and I got to unlock her costume, and I'm actually wearing that costume right now. And it's just a neat idea of having Bayonettas from different timelines be, it's a really cool idea. I always like multiverse stuff because it always gets interesting storytelling. But I'm really loving the idea of meeting the multiple Bayonettas, and I'm hoping that we can save some down the line. But there's really no telling until we actually get there. And I did briefly touch on it before, but the summons at any time, I mean, that's a cool idea. It's a neat little fighting thing, and I've unlocked the ability to basically have a summon as my finisher. So if I'm doing a ground combo or whatever, and Bayonetta does a flash, and then if I hit the summon button at the time of the flash, the summon that you currently have equipped will come out and do like a finisher attack. Or you can even have, instead of dodging out of the way of an attack, you can at the last minute summon your summon, and it will basically do like a little counterattack. And then not only that, just having a big, like, basically room-clearing enemy for a limited time pop up is just, it's a fun little gameplay loop. The torture attacks are executed when the guard is broken rather than by the magic gauge. I think this just goes back to being a longtime fan, and this is how it's always been, so it's different. It's strange to have a different change. The magic meter is no longer tied to... I also do miss Umbran Climax too, but we have the giant demons, so that kind of makes up for it. But the torture attacks used to be tied to the magic gauge, but the magic gauge now is tied to specifically your summons. So like I said, it's just something to get used to from a I've played these games since they came out kind of mentality. It's weird to me that I can't have like a full magic bar and execute a torture attack whenever I want. But then I guess part of the upside of that is you don't have to do button prompts for the torture attacks, which I could kind of take or leave. You know, you always got some extra halos in the past whenever you did that. But now you just do the torture attacks and it either will kill them instantly or just does a massive chunk of damage. But, you know, it's nothing that you have to like manually input, which I guess works in some ways because unless you have like an eidetic knowledge of the game, you're never going to know which button to mash whenever it comes up. So sometimes you can miss it just because not knowing the button. Anyway, tangent aside, the torture attacks look great too. They have new attacks to do, which, you know, you should always try to strive for. The only one I've seen so far that I can remember is the enemy gets trapped in a box and then a bunch of swords get stabbed into a box. And that's the only one I remember offhand, but I know there was another one that I saw on there. I'm just not remembering it right now. But they are still good, and it is good to execute them. You just have to pay attention that whenever you break them, that you have to run up to them so that you can do the torture attack. And another weird thing, and this, again, a lot of these little small complaints are just coming from longtime fan. Like in this one, there is no angel, demon, homunculus weapons to take, and that is at least going off of up until chapter 4, there has been none. I think it has more to do with the way that the battles work now with the weapons and equipping. But it's just a little strange that, you know, I can't grab a pole from an angel and use it to stripper dance my way to, you know, swinging around and killing everything in a little area. I can't really see anything feasibly you could take from the homunculus right now. But it's just one of those little things that's like, it's weird, and it's something that I thought of, so I wanted to at least mention it. So, you know, again, it's not a horrible thing, it's just something I've noticed, and it's not missing from the gameplay, but it feels like something is. And the new movement styles are interesting. So, instead of having, you know, Panther within, Raven within, well, you do still actually have Crow within, or you do still have Bat within. Whenever you move, your demon, whatever you have equipped, will affect your movement style. So, Madama Butterfly, you will flutter at high speeds. You actually turn into like a fusion of Bayonetta and these demons. So you'll take like a humanoid, almost Musume form of these demons. So like Madama Butterfly, she has her, it almost looks like a moth, but I think it's just a fuzzy thing around her neck. But you'll turn into that and you know, zip forward, or you can hover in the air with it if you hold down B. Or Gamora, you'll turn into like this beastly thing with big claws and just like run across. And then your B movement is whenever you're in the air and you hold it, you like charge up and shoot forward like a jet. To the best of what I can tell so far, you don't transform into these things to fight. They're just movement, but that could very well change by the time I reach the end of the game. I do like the additional customization, which I did talk about that a little bit before, but like your KOTOR bullets from what I have got so far are not so much like putting Bayonetta in a kimono or putting her in a cheerleader outfit or anything like that. It is, to this point that I have got, just turning into like the different versions of Bayonetta. And like now you can even customize her hair and her outfit colors too. So like for a little bit I was rocking white hair with a purple outfit, and then I've just kind of played around with some of the colors here and there, and so far I think I'm sticking with the black hair and white outfit because I really like how it looks. But then I saw my next Bayonetta and thought, you know what, I kind of like how that style looks, so I changed over to that. I haven't really unlocked any additional colors for that outfit right now, but that's the outfit that I'm working. You can actually even change Bayonetta's glasses color too, so it's nice to see that nice little extra bit of customization that you can do. It kind of goes back with the cutscenes looking good, but the spectacles are better than they've ever been. I want to talk about one, but it's, like I said, it's too past a point where I find it's going to be a little too spoilery to talk about, because it's just something you gotta see for yourself. But like the intro of being on the yacht in a flooding New York City is, I'm not sure if it tops fighting angels on a jet, but it's definitely equal to that spectacle. You know, it does the Bayonetta things where it's completely over the top and just awesome to watch. And for right now, it doesn't appear that we collect LPs to get weapons, so that's another one of those kind of, that's not how it's been, it's a strange thing. But I guess in this instance, that will make it so that everybody will have access to all the weapons, because I know, like with Bayonetta 1, you know, I miss the Odettes. Every time I have to start a new game, I miss the Odettes, because I forget where to go get those, and those are one of my fun things that I like to use. So that will be, you know, that'll be nice that everybody basically gets a chance to do all the weapons, because there's some people that'll play this game once and then won't play it again, and then there's going to be people like me and huge fans of these kinds of games that will play these games over and over and over and over and over, just because they're so fun. So at the very least, most people should be able to get all the weapons, I think. I haven't seen a point yet where it looks like we're gonna get like another weapon that you have to do some kind of side activity for, but I can't speak on that just yet because I don't know. Speaking of, side missions are a thing. It's the only side mission I have played so far. The only way to describe it is Metal Gear Jean, and it is just fucking hilarious. That would be one of the points that I was audibly laughing my ass off because it was so great and so funny. Just once you beat Chapter 3, there's going to be a side mission. I don't think you can't not do it, but if you have the option to not do it, ignore that. Do it because it's great. I laughed practically the whole mission because it was awesome. And my last little teeny tiny gripe is that demons don't speak the demonic language anymore. They speak regular English. It's not, you know, immersion breaking or anything, but it is weird because the new demon that's introduced in Chapter 3 is speaking English, and I'm like, I can understand you. You're supposed to be speaking the demonic language, just like angels are supposed to be speaking angelic language. I don't know if they just did that to make things easier on the voice actors, or they just decided that, or maybe it might even be that reality of Bayonetta, because at that point we hop to a different dimension, a different universe. So in that universe, the demons might have spoke English instead of their demonic language. I honestly can't tell you because, again, I'm not very far into the game, but it's just something that I thought I would bring up. Anyway, that's all of my little points and whatever's about Bayonetta 3. I can say that I am indeed having a very, very fun time playing it, and I need to wrap this up so I can get back to playing it. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope if you did decide to get Bayonetta 3, that you are enjoying it as well. I hope that it is, the third game in the trilogy that we all were expecting. So far, for me, it is, minus a few of these little gripes that I've had. But as a longtime fan of the games and the character, I'm definitely having a fun time with 3. So I hope the rest of you are as well. Thank you for watching, and try not to die out there.